Try that distance progression, the 1, 2, 3 rounds on the beeps. The open target in the middle is at like probably a little over 20 yards. The one on the left is probably almost 30, and the one on the right is probably 27, 28. So got my par time set up, just kind of randomized, so I don't really know when they're going to go off, and just reacting to them on each beep. So we'll start on the open target. All right, so the first trigger pull, I saw the dot slash down and right, so it's probably going to be like a C, maybe even a D. The 2 and 3 shot progression felt really good, just bouncing kind of right in the middle. Those should be all A's. Move on to the horizontal partial on the right now. All right, so the first shot and the second shot of the pair were good. The second shot of the pair I saw go this direction. The first and third shot of the triplet were good, but the second trigger pull I saw slash right, so I might have it. It's either right on the no-shoot line or it'll be in the no-shoot. And now we'll finish up with that partial in the back. Third shot of the triplet, I didn't return the gun all the way because I was really trying to focus not to push down. So that one might either be up in the head or it might have gone kind of over the shoulder. All right, so on the open, yep, that's the one. That was the first shot. I saw the dot slash. Here's our partial, and there's the, can't remember which one I said, but one of them I said kind of, I saw the dot slash sideways on the trigger pull, and there's that guy there. The rest of those are pretty okay. And there we go. Yep, third shot of the triplet went right over the top. Well, there you go. So that's the distance progression. It's really hard. If I was doing this, I would repeat it. I would repeat that target there and this target until I got all acceptable hits.
So recently I was on Joel Park's Training Group Live podcast, and we were talking about some distance inoculation, kind of like a speed progression that I've been working on at distance. And you just watched a video of one of me working through that during one of my training sessions this week. And just thought I'd kind of talk through a little bit of context. So the setup is really easy. Whatever I'm training on that day, if it's got some partials, it's got tuxes, whether it's hard cover, penalties, doesn't matter. I set up whatever I'm going to train on. It could be a scrambler, it could be a standard drill, it doesn't matter. And then I'll usually shoot my cold start for that day, just kind of see where I'm at, run through whatever I'm going to train on a couple of times, just kind of see where I'm at. And then I load my mags up, pace up the targets, and then I will go back to a distance that's very challenging. For me, that's 20, 25, 30, sometimes 35 yards, and then kind of set up my timer to shoot this progression. So essentially it's like a trigger control at speed with a progressive shot count, all done off of the beeps. So I'll set up my timer so that there are 3 randomized beeps. The beep the par times are usually between 1.5 and 2 seconds. Just I change it up enough that I can't really time it. So the first beep, I draw the gun. The second beep, I fire 1 round. The third beep, I fire 2 rounds. And the last beep, I fire 3 rounds for a total of 6. And the idea is that I'm reacting immediately to the beep. I'm trying to shoot as aggressively as I possibly can, borderline predictively if I can. That's where I'm trying to get to. And then I'm only accepting A's and close C's. A lot of times when we shoot things like doubles, kind of like rapid pairs at predictive paces, or even reactive shooting at distance, we're just kind of along for the ride. I want to observe what happens. And that's what I'm doing here. You can hear it in the end of the video where I talk through what I saw versus what I was feeling of the trigger at the time, or what I saw out of the dot. And yes, I want to be observant about what's happening, but that's not good enough. Like in the end, I want to figure out how do I smash A's at 30 yards on this half zone alpha so that later when I go up to 15 yards and shoot it, it is not a concern at all. It is a super easy target. And so as I'm pulling the trigger back there, I'm working out, hey, I have zero margin for error when I have 4 inches of A zone, and then the rest of the target is a no shoot. I have zero margin for error for how to pull that trigger aggressively. And so I really start to key in on what's happening with my grip. Do I see the dot slashing as I'm pulling? I really start to key in on how much input do I need just to bring the gun back to where I'm looking. And I really key in on how important it is to look to a very, very micro spot on that target, because any unlocking or kind of widening of the focus leads to problems. And I keep shooting that until I figure out, till I get the acceptable result that I'm looking for. And then once I get that acceptable result, that's how I earn my ability to go up and train on the array that I've set up, whether it's a scrambler or a standardized drill or whatever it is I'm doing that day. And then at any point during my training, if I don't like the outcomes that I'm getting because I'm no longer following the process, so I notice I'm starting to push on the gun as I'm shooting, or I'm not looking to specific spots on the target anymore, and the points are getting unacceptable because of that, or I start to get a little too conservative, I start to kind of lay up on a target that's intimidating me for some reason, that 15, 20 yard head box or something like that, I'm not shooting it as aggressively as I want. If any of those things start to happen during the training session, I immediately repace the targets. I go back to the far distance, my 30, 35 yards, whatever it is, and I shoot this progression again until I get it right. And when I do it, I'll usually pick 3 targets out of whatever my array is, an open, and then a couple of other ones, or maybe if I shot that array the last time, then maybe it's like, hey, I'm going to shoot the tux, this partial and that partial, or whatever. It doesn't really matter what it is, but I just pick 3 random targets out of my array, and it's like, yep, I'm going to get these right. 6 rounds on each. They're all going to have acceptable hits, and then I continue to shoot them until I get acceptable hits on figure out kind of how to shoot each target correctly. Then I go up and continue to train. So I think there's a lot of value in this. It's very, very frustrating and extremely demanding, but there's a lot to learn, a lot to be learned from it, and I think you can get a lot out of it. I will say you don't necessarily have to start at 35 yards. Start at a distance that's challenging if you want to try this for yourself, which might only be 15 or 20 yards for some of the partials. But as it becomes easier, or you are more reliably getting the results you want, just start moving back. Continue to keep it challenging, because that's where the learning occurs. So anyway, if you've got any questions about this, throw them down below. If you got any other things you want to talk about, leave a comment. I appreciate it. If you want to like, share, and subscribe, that would be cool. And if not, that would also be okay with me too. Take care, everybody.